Welcome to Mystery Crate.
Hey!
Billy, you've hasn't been on Mystery Crate in a while. That's not usually how we start Mystery Crate.
Well, okay, if we're gonna break the fourth wall.
Yes, four walls.
Why are there four?
Well,
Why does a room have 4 walls?
As opposed to 5?
Does every room have 4 walls?
it depends on the shape of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
if it's
different
like a
shaped room.
pentagon, it would be 5.
No, but the Pentagon, if you're talking about the building,
I
that's just the
guess
shape
they're-
of the building.
the
But
shape
I
of the
imagine,
building,
I've
yeah.
never been there.
Pentagonal,
Ooh,
right?
what if every room in the Pentagon is a Pentagon?
I don't think it is.
Ooh.
I think that it's all square rooms inside of a Pentagon. If
Pablo,
I were
you look like a
what
guy
do you
that's
do
been
with
in
the
the
extra
Pentagon.
space?
I did go to the White House recently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go?
I mean,
How about the Pentagon though?
Have you been to the Pentagon?
I've not been to the Pentagon.
Did you go inside the White House?
The
or just-
Pentagon does not do the Easter egg roll, although I would have gone to the Pentagons if they had invited. Or I got in a ticket too. I wasn't invited to the White House Easter egg roll.
Right.
But I did go to the White House Easter egg roll, which is why I was there at the White House.
But did you get in, or you
I
just
did.
outside?
I did.
What'd you do?
I walked around.
Did you take anything like napkins or anything
Ooh,
like
yeah,
that
good
that
question.
people
You know, I
do?
did. I
Silverware.
touched to make sure that the fern on like this mantle was real.
Oh,
Was it?
It was.
okay.
I hate fake plants.
Why?
He's a plant guy.
I'm a plant guy.
Yeah.
I'm a plant guy.
Is it exhausting being a plant guy?
It's been the best preparation I've had for being a parent.
So those 2 plants over there on that table right there, you wouldn't like because those
Yeah,
are
it's fake as hell.
Yeah.
They're depressing.
But they look real enough.
They do look real.
Like
Yeah,
from a
but then-
distance.
Spike it.
It's just like
I mean, there's some that are fake that look realistic.
Right.
Like, you know, I know some of them
Yeah.
look plasticky, but
they work in like some yellow dead
some in
leaves
the
that
higher
are fake.
end plastic.
I recently bought at Target 2 fake plants to kind of put on both sides of a frame that I had on a shelf. And I had a real plant in the shelf next to it, but then I saw these and I kind of was like, I keep taking this one down to water it. The plant itself, it's not like a super strong shelf, so I'm worried about how much soil is in this little like pot that the plant is in. So I just put the plastic that the plant comes in inside of this pot to not fill it with all this dirt.
Yep.
Right.
But then I get worried about if I pour the water into that plastic thing, there's holes at the bottom of it. Is that then going to fill this vase with water? And then are we going to have like mold accumulation and stuff like that? So
That's what you want to do, actually. It's an advanced move to put a like planter pot inside of an actual like pot such that there is runoff. The
Really?
number one way to kill a plant is overwatering. It's been a real lesson for me about parenting.
Who knew?
too.
Correct.
Kind of like a human.
Correct.
but it's substantially
Yeah,
larger. Like
I-
there's a big amount of space that will be there if I do that.
I think that will help, though, because the drainage, the excess water won't stay. What you actually fear more is the mold growing in the root bed. And if it's growing underneath at the bottom of this other pot and it's not touching the roots, it won't grow mold, is my first thought. My second thought is that, as much as I believe in the metaphor, I don't think overwatering is the number one way, to Tony's point, of killing a human.
It's not the number one way, but it's a way.
It is
Yeah,
a
it
way.
is a way.
Yeah, like Coachella, like the medical town, like people drink too much water.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
what's
an
happening.
ant can't move a rubber tree plant, but he's got
High hopes.
He's
He's
got
got high hopes.
He's got high apple pie in the
Sky hopes.
brilliant.
I don't know that song.
You don't
That
know
was a
any.
too
great
young.
You don't know
melody.
any.
amongst
You
you
dedicated it
guys.
to you.
It
You like
was
to do
great.
this stuff.
I swear to God, you guys started singing all in tandem. I had no idea. where that
Popular
was
thing
going.
you guys all know? No idea.
What is it from? I don't have
Tony
a.
gets off on knowing
Childhood.
nothing. It's the strangest thing. I've
How's
never
it-
met anyone that's like so proud.
A guy
to
who's
be-
inquisitive who wants to know where things are from. Now I get it for
You
it.
don't
How
want to.
have you gotten through life?
You don't want to know where things are
Not
from.
knowing whatever the Ant song was. What was it? Where'd it come from?
Your name is Ant.
I know, but nobody sung me that song.
Tony, it's okay. When they started singing it, I didn't know it, but I knew it once they got into the main part. So at first I didn't know it either. It's
where
okay.
can anybody tell me where it's from?
It's
I don't know.
from,
Ask Greg
I
Cody.
don't remember.
From childhood.
Fourth
I just
grade.
remember as
Yeah.
kids.
From
Yeah.
childhood, like just
Yeah.
one of those songs.
Just not your childhood.
You just know
The
you know.
parents.
Yeah, like
It's
who
a
has
different
those
childhood.
songs.
Like
Yeah.
who has the IP for like Stregonona? You know, like these characters are these like owned by
What are we
Hit the
doing?
button.
What are we doing here?
Hit the
What is
button.
this?
which button?
The
No,
what?
I know he's out there.
So
I know
I
he's
here's
okay.
another one.
Okay,
Like
fine.
Zippity, like the song Zippity Doodah. Like before
Is that racist?
when they started doing when they
Do
started.
you know that song, Tony?
Yeah, that's on Splash Mountain.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a
Yeah,
Splash
yeah,
Mountain
that's
thing.
racist. That's
It's not
racist.
a Splash Mountain song, though.
Brother,
is
I don't
it?
know anything about anything. I just know this from Splash Mountain. That's it. like, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Is
I
it-
like when
songs-
he does this. He knows stuff, but then when he doesn't want to know stuff, he's like, "Well, I don't know anything." But
Well,
2
no,
seconds
I-
ago, you told us you knew everything.
That movie,
In general.
that movie, Song of the South. That
But that's
Disney
not
did,
from that movie, right? Isn't it just a song?
I thought that was song in that movie.
I
That
thought it
song.
was just included in the movie.
These are my questions, right? Who owns the IP to Zippity Doo Dah?
Yeah.
Was that written originally by
That's
my former full-time employer?
very much feels like a public domain song to me.
Exactly.
But I could be
After
wrong
like
about
100
that.
years, it ends up being public domain, right?
Yeah,
but-
some
Yeah.
stuff. Like that's why people on Amazon.com, they are just like copying and pasting like old books into PDFs and selling them because anybody has the rights to, you
Like
know.
Happy Birthday or something, right? Or like.
Well, happy birthday might still.
Do you know that song?
I don't think we're allowed to sing that.
Yeah,
think
that
I
is
think
still
I think
has-
it
you need to
ran
be
out.
careful
Did
with
that
that
run
one.
out?
I
Did that
think
run
it
out?
did, Yeah.
Be careful.
Can we sing Happy Birthday without being sued?
Of course you
Can
can.
we say happy
Birthday
birthday to
That one
That
definitely.
one
Happy
probably
birthday
That's
to
definitely
ya.
not one you
Happy
can.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
You're not listening.
Martin Luther
Really
King.
Bad way to
None of them are listening.
get this company shut down.
Oh,
What do you,
sorry.
who do you think will be responsible
Market.
ultimately, like for the one thing that's done that gets the company sued?
Stugotz.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's
definitely.
good. If
That's
Yeah.
too on the nose, though.
Oh.
Like Stugotz is the one that tanks the company. Like,
Yeah, that's a little
over on
predictable.
Dan. I got the over on Dan.
Oh yeah. He's gonna
But Dan will do it like
sabotage his
purposely.
own
Oh wait,
company.
yeah, we can now sing Happy Birthday, the non-fun version.
Happy birthday. No.
Yeah, that one. We can sing that without being sued now.
Okay.
So that's good.
so the other one.
That one
Still
feels
suable.
suable.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll cut that.
Seems
No, we won't.
TGI Fridayable.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Zippity Doo Dah is from Song of the South. And it was
1946.
1946. So it's not from Splash Mountain.
Well, that's my
Which is
reference.
literally
point to
what
it,
I just
though.
said.
yeah,
It was composed, yes, for Disney originally.
yeah. But Disney has since 2020 disassociated itself with the song due to the long-standing controversy over racial connotations associated with Song of the South.
So as
So
usual,
the
Roy
song
was right.
Well, the
As
song
usual.
itself, the
Roy
song
was right.
The
Roy
song
knows
itself,
racism.
the
That's
song
right.
itself may not be racist, but it's associated with a
When you-
racist
That
movie.
is
When you
correct.
type in Splash Mountain into Google, first thing that comes up, Zippity Doo Dah lyrics. Next one, song. And then next one, racist.
Where's Splash Mountain on the list?
Splash Mountain's closed.
Well,
It
I
is
know,
closed,
but-
RIP.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely
the ride,
not
just
rest
the
in
ride.
power.
Rest in
Well, no,
power,
they're gonna
Corey.
just
Oh,
they're
man.
just gonna remix it.
They're going to turn it into Tiana's. I don't
Something
know what
or
they're going
other.
to call
Yeah.
it, but yeah.
Tiana Taylor.
No,
No,
the
wrong
princess.
season.
Oh,
yes,
no, the
Tiana
Princess
Taylor's
Frog.
Splash
Yeah.
Mountain.
We're gonna
Oh.
reboot Song of the
That's a
South
different
with
splash.
Tiana Taylor.
That would be a twist.
That
If
would be
Disney's like,
hot.
we're going to have one just.
Ivan Shumpert's just like in the background.
You have to be
somewhere.
21 to.
You know she
I
was
love
on.
Shump. Ugh.
Tiana Taylor was on My Super Sweet 16, right?
Hell
Yeah, she
yeah.
was.
Was that, her, was that her debut?
That was her star.
Yeah.
I think so.
That was in the era where she was signed under Pharrell's label at that time when she was a teenager. But yes, she had a Super Sweet 16 on MTV episode.
What a show.
Yeah. Oh man.
Bunch of brats.
Splash.
Well, that's another thing.
Mm.
Should I feel? Should I feel?
Finally, it was a long time coming.
Should I feel bad about
Wait for the
getting
perfect moment.
tricked by the AI R. Kelly thing earlier this
Yeah,
week?
you should.
Yeah,
That was.
yeah,
that
that's-
was
that's-
No, man, that could
That's bad.
happen. I could see a universe in which that absolutely happens.
It was
Post
on me.
puffer.
I shared that with you.
a
That was
universe
me.
in which R. Kelly was wearing a pleather orange custom jumpsuit and performing concerts in prison.
You guys
In front
believed
of
it when I
hundreds
said
of
it.
prisoners.
Can we
so-
just? I'm okay with as sitting in this chair that Mike Ryan sits in. I'm okay. Let's just pretend it's real. Let's talk about it as if it's real.
Well, what I said in the break, what I said in the break was still real to me,
Yeah.
which is not really a defense for making a mistake, but
So it's,
not a
it's
mistake.
professional wrestling to you.
yeah,
I guess,
exactly.
right?
There's the guy that's crying in the bleachers. or
And
whatever.
the glasses.
He was about to get beat up in jail, and he was like, wait.
How does it feel, Billy, to sit on this side?
It's weird. It's weird, and it's weird looking in this way. I've been asking a lot of questions that I don't know you guys know the answer to. Like I was asking before, the lights off, or is there just like we have like this giant window, but
This is the fourth
33%
wall,
of it
yes.
has been covered. Half of it by just like sheets of paper or something. I don't
Like
know
black
what that is.
construction paper
Yeah, there's
almost.
like construction paper that's
It's to
blocking
reduce glare.
a third of it.
Is that what it is?
And then there's like a fishing net or something, like a
Yep.
screen from a screen door has been put on the other part. And when we got here on Monday, it was were you here? You were here, right?
Yeah.
Where half of it had fallen for
Yeah,
some
it was
reason.
just falling down.
Yeah,
The glare going. This
London
is really
Bridge.
inside. The glare from this side
the
is
IP
much
to that?
worse Like I can see Juju in the
Tony doesn't know
reflection
that
as much
song.
as I can see Pablo right now. Like this
Yeah.
side is much different. Like you guys see us clearer than we
Oh,
see
this
you.
is so we're like on the side where we're watching the people being interrogated. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
this
the
is
a two-way
guys being
mirror?
Yeah,
interrogated.
it's really hard to see this room from that room.
Yeah.
But that's not really a concern.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see anything. I got these Pradas on. I know about looking into it, but yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you
okay,
live
you
in
can't see it all.
shades, so yeah.
The trick of being on this side of the room, though, which I've noticed and noticed it immediately, is that there's like a scientist lab rat vibe here. And I think it's actually the other way. I think the conventional theory would be that, like, we are the scientists on this side, Billy, the hosts, and you guys over there in mission control are the lab rats.
The pips.
I think it's the other way.
I love that you're
Mission
trying
control.
to embrace mission control, and
Hate
Juju
it.
keeps trying to make it the pips. But I love
Cynthia
that we've
hates
moved
it.
on.
Hate it.
Why do you hate that?
You hate which one?
I hate mission control.
Why? I like it.
I like the good old shipping container.
No, I don't like
Leave
that.
it alone.
You don't
Leave
like
it alone.
change.
I
That's
think we
what it
keep
is.
No,
I agree
I'm
with her.
okay with change.
over
I
it.
just don't like mission control.
Yes, the
It sounds too
connotation,
much.
shipping container connotation, we have to change that for sure because there's been a lot of the wires and there's been a lot of the cases going on, and we love our brothers and sisters around the globe.
Telethon?
Absolutely not.
It is a
$2.
You think
telethon
we should be
vibe, though.
called the telethon?
What's wrong with mission control? I don't get it.
I was going mission control, but then I got all this pushback, so I'm throwing out the other backup, which
Yeah.
was telethon. There is a telethon vibe here, but there's also, again, the scientist lab brat vibe, and I say that because when you sit on this side, you're constantly, and I noticed Dan even doing this. Dan is the lab rat. You guys are the scientists. He's waiting for you guys to like laugh or be engaged and dispense those little pellets.
So
Oh,
you
how-
want that room to be called the laboratory?
But that's
How-
He's playing off of you guys.
How
You guys
alone do
are
you- I noticed
approving
that-
of his content.
Earlier this week when you and Samson were hosting, and I noticed a few times you almost were like, you and Samson were in the middle of a conversation, but something was happening back here, and you were like longing to be in this room. You were like, I even though I'm talking on air with Samson right now, I wish I was in that
That's
room.
how Dan feels sometimes. So he tries to like bring that energy over there, and then
That's
sometimes
that's
it works.
the
sometimes it
dynamic.
doesn't.
We're
This
the
is
fun place.
a weird environment where everyone feels like the lab rat and no one feels like the scientist.
A lot of lab rats running around, huh? Just looking for cheap dopamine.
The pit bosses,
Oh.
Barbecue?
the gamblers.
Oh, okay.
Salute the DraftKings.
Gamble responsibly.
I hate fake plant.
I have a scientific question for everybody here on Mystery Crate.
I hate
and
science.
I love science.
This is definitely the wrong group to ask a
shit.
serious
Not true.
Was that
scientific
who had
question.
it like worst, by far least enjoyable subject in all of school? Raise
It's
your hand
math.
if you're with
For
me.
No, it's
science?
math.
Oh, I love
It's
math.
Math
I hate
sucks.
math.
Math
Math
is
was the
terrible.
worst.
Yeah, math
You guys
sucks.
all preferred science to
Yes.
math?
Yeah.
I prefer neither, but
Ugh.
I do marine biology. That was my minor.
I love
Right.
that.
Yeah, that was good. So the scientific question is, how do you flush your toilet? Do you flush your toilet with your lid up or lid down?
Lid down, no
Down.
matter what, because if you flush it with it up, germs are going everywhere, which means fecal matter is on your counter.
That
on
is
your
exactly
toothbrush.
right, Juju. Exactly right.
I must have fecal matter everywhere.
Yes, everywhere in your bathroom, your toothbrush, your sink, everywhere.
you know what? I'm gonna put an end to this for a quick second because we need germs.
Yes.
Germs are important. Germs are a part of our ecosystem. They're a part of our bodies. We have millions and trillions of them that live inside of our gut. You can do that if you want. That's just the facts of what it is.
Yes,
We need, and throughout COVID, we've actually had like a return to like having to reintroduce our immune systems to like the common cold and like regular things that we were not immune to, but we had more defenses built up against them. Being in the house for a year and a half or whatever it was has killed the immune system of the entire planet. So we need to get more germs involved around everywhere so
More
we can get back to
germs.
normal. Thank
yeah,
you.
But Tony, you gotta think about this. Everything that came out of your body that went into that toilet.
The
when you
fecal
flush it-
matter, I get that. But germs in general, we need more germs.
Just as a poll, who in here has seen those CTs all the damn time?
That's because we were inside for a year and
It's a
some
great
change.
question.
Sustain, rest my case.
Okay, there you go.
Caso
Objection,
cerrado.
relevancy.
Relevancy.
Bishop to queen 3.
Wait, CTCs is like
that how
stuffy
that
nose?
Sinusitis is just a stuffy nose. But that's also because I have issues with my
So wait,
sinus.
poop particles are making me stuffed up?
No.
That's what I was like. I'm
Poop
just
particles are
confused.
not making you stuffed
Allegedly.
up.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Reckless speculation.
Because if that's the case, I'll start closing my toilet before. I
It's
flush.
not. That's not what it is. It's,
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see. I'll do a test. I'll do a month of closing it and see what the difference
you're not going to
is.
feel a difference, by the way.
Right. I know.
You
also-
Nothing's.
Apparently I
Feel the
will.
difference.
You also
will.
could get sick anywhere,
Right.
And there'd be no It'd just be a coincidence.
Just be like, oh, I got sick. Somebody coughed on me at the mall. Like, I got sick.
Well, here's a theory to that. So you're releasing all of that out of your body, all that fecal. Then you flush with the lid up. You're just getting that fecal right back at you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
No,
what-
it goes
so
down
you-
the toilet.
And think
Well,
about this. What if you do?
somewhat.
What if
Some
you-
it does, some it doesn't.
What if you do a courtesy flush while you're still sitting? Think about that too.
That's hitting
I
your
do that.
No, that's
I
not
do that
great.
sometimes.
That's not great.
undercarriage is
Dan,
full of
Dan was right that it does
a
end
whole
up in
thing.
poop a lot. Like, I don't know how it is
Yeah,
that we
that's
ended up.
true.
Yeah. Well, it's Roy's fault. If
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
Roy
Roy's
started
straight up,
this,
yeah.
So.
Hey, it was a scientific question.
It was
Well,
not at all. It's
it
not
really
science.
wasn't.
It was kind of
Yeah.
scientific.
How do you guys
it was more of
flush
a poll
in a
really.
public setting? Are you guys like using the bottom of your shoe to like
Yeah,
flush
kick
the
it.
toilet?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes,
Not
1,000%.
touching that handle. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But what about if you're wearing a nice pair of J's?
You got to kick it no matter what.
I don't have
Use
J's.
you
your
gotta
heel.
kick it no
Yeah,
matter
use
what.
your
That's
heel.
fine.
Yeah.
kick it like
What I
Kung
don't
Fu.
like is the ones that have the sensor that you stand in front of
Where you're like,
where you're trying to like move and it doesn't flush and you're like, okay, I guess it's I'm
our
just gonna leave.
bathrooms
Hate
here.
those.
Our bathrooms here are a little awkward.
like
I don't
that,
know.
yeah.
Is it a thing? Or do I have to push?
I'm like
Is it
up,
a-
I'm like on the top, on the sides.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
So
Yeah.
it's
But
right
if you're
on
sitting,
the front.
if you're sitting and you move your back like this or this, and this is back at the old Clevelander bathroom. If you do like a little
never
shuffle,
sat at the Clevelander
it just flushes by itself, like without you getting up. That is not a good feeling.
Terrifying.
You know what's not a good feeling when you're at a toilet that's like a new toilet for you. You haven't really experienced this toilet before, and the suction power of the toilet is something that you
I love it.
It's
have
pulling you
not-
in?
Yeah, it's like so powerful that you're not used to because your toilet at home is probably a little bit more eco-friendly.
Feels like a little burst of air.
Dude, there
It's
was
delightful.
one. We were at a hotel a couple of weeks ago in Disney,
dirty
and
air.
it was like a jet plane. When it was like, it almost sucked me down to the toilet.
That would have been something.
I made it though,
Imagine that story.
and it was at
on the
like
news.
3 o'clock in the morning too.
Oh,
Scary.
What would the story in the news have been?
Man gets sucked by
into his
toilet. Yeah.
Imagine it.
Speaking of men getting stuck by toilets, do you guys think it's a demotion or a honor for one game to be on TNT and the other one to be on NBA TV at the same damn time?
demotion.
Whoa, my goodness, that's so unfair to the fan base.
That used to be the Sacramento Kings every single game, basically on national TV.
I don't have
I feel like the
NBA TV.
Pacers live on NBA TV when they make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Raptors too.
How many games are starting at the same time, though?
They're usually staggered a little bit, but if there's 3 games in one night, they're not gonna have 3 on TNT. So
Well,
there's always one.
there's 3 or 4 games sometimes. What's the max is 4?
Yeah, 4. And then TNT will take one, then ABC, ESPN. But the Minnesota Timberwolves somehow end up on NBA
the
TV,
T-Wolves.
and they didn't talk to anybody or know anything.
Somebody watches.
How about A-Rod, huh? Turn that team around.
Yeah.
playoff team?
Doesn't get enough credit.
No,
Lost in the playoffs, but still playoff team.
Yeah, but
Kendall, stand up.
Yeah.
exactly.
of course.
The hood.
Zagak. You know, one of the Broken Lizard guys that we talked to on Stupidity last week, he was like, "Oh, where are you guys in Miami?" I was just like being nice or whatever, right? We're like, "Oh, we're over here," and he's like, "Oh, I was just there. I was in Coral Gables," and I'm like, "Okay, it sounds like
Nice.
it's just someone that was kind of hanging out there." And we're like, "Oh yeah, we're a little bit west of that." And he's like, "Are you in Kendall?" And I'm like, "What is happening right now? Like, how does he's like, yeah,
Guy
my
did
wife."
like a comedy show in Kendall. or
No, he's like,
something?
my wife went to Killian.
Let's go.
wow.
Which character?
It was man, now you're putting me on the spot.
Sorry. You can
Cut
just
that, cut
describe
that,
what he
cut
looks
that, cut
like.
that.
It
Was
was
it the
it
guy
was
with the mustache?
No, the
Super
other
Troopers?
guy.
It was
Farva?
No, it's not Farva.
He'll find it
It
anyway.
was
K Nation
not-
stand up.
It was not
Cougar
Jay.
stand up.
It was Wheels.
No, it was not Wheels.
All
It
right.
was not Wheels, but that's a good.
We
that's
named
a
everybody
good-
though, so
Yeah, no.
We'll get there.
It was Steve Lemmy, who is who's
Lem.
half Argentinian.
Let's go.
And had polio.
Boludo.
Ah.
Speaking of the Gables, a couple. What do you mean what?
Word?
What do you mean what?
How often? How many
Boludo
times?
is like something that Argentinian people say to each other.
How many times a day does someone say something and you just follow up with "What do you mean?" and just repeat the exact same thing to them? Like if you're so confused by everything.
A lot,
What happened there?
A lot actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Anyways.
it was more like your tone of definitive, like you're also Argentinian. It
No,
just
it-
kind of
it-
came off.
But it had nothing to do with me being Argentinian. It
Your
was just
wife
like
Just-
must be so patient. Like
She
she's
is.
very nice. I've met her a
Word.
couple times. She must be so patient.
she is patient.
Yeah,
Extremely
man.
patient.
Salute to my sister Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juju knows.
Salute to all your significant others.
She also
because
loves
Jesus
you in a way that I
Christ.
wish my wife
Thanks,
loved me.
Cynthia.
Publicly. I know my wife actually loves me, but Tony's wife is great at like every once in a while she'll just post a picture of Tony and be like, I love this guy
I don't
so
follow.
much.
I don't follow her.
I do,
I
and
don't know the
every
rules
time-
on following.
Wow, you don't
spouses.
follow my wife.
I just
Okay.
wanna
Well,
know
she's
anytime-
private.
follow
She's
back
private.
She
so I
is
don't know
private, but you can follow her.
I don't know the rules on that.
Follow her.
Anytime.
You
see
get
what
more
you mean.
content
I
of
get
me.
what Billy means. I get it. It's at first I didn't want to. I don't know. Can I follow Valerie?
That is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Look, this
Correct.
is this is potentially dangerous territory, right? Because like I don't know.
Not
what the
if you're
rules
not
on
doing
this.
anything wrong.
No, I don't know the
It's a
rules
social
on
media
this.
app.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about our boss's wife, so I don't know
Right.
the rules on this. So here's the thing. I think that Valerie follows me, right? But I think it was like when
It's pretty easy to tell. Just looking if it
It's
says
a follow for
back.
follow kind of situation.
Okay, that's the thing though, right? Is like how
Home
I'm
and
asking
home,
you,
yeah.
like I don't know the rules about following people or whatever, right?
If it says follow back, that means they already follow
Correct.
you. So hit
But
it.
he means like, this is the way I do it, right? If my friend were to get, let's say let's say Juju's the only kind of single person here, Juju and Cynthia. If you have a significant other,
I didn't know anything. I didn't talk to anybody.
if you have a significant other, right, that you just started dating, the chances are I'm not going to follow that person automatically, because if in 3 months you guys break up, now I'm stuck following somebody I don't care about, right? So what I
Been
do
in that
is
situation before too.
right,
By the way,
exactly, and I
But
follow
that's
unfollow
not
a lot
the,
of people.
That's not this situation.
No,
this
but-
situation is it inappropriate for me to follow my boss's spouse?
And the answer is
You know what I
no.
mean? Okay, so but here's the thing, and this is why I may get in trouble. So I didn't, and then I did because it was like in a suggested like follow back or whatever, and then I think that maybe there was some sort of rift there. Where it was like, why wasn't I? Because I still like it'll still sometimes like show up. So it was like I was either rejected or I'm just kind of just waiting in the whole like need
Limbo.
to be approval. But also shout out to our fans, best fans in the world. They try to follow all of our spouses.
Yeah.
So I could see how like actual requests get lost in the shuffle sometimes. You know
Jenny
what
has
I
a
mean?
lot of them that are in like the pending requests.
See, so now here's the thing. If now Tony said follow my wife, you'll get more content of me, which is not
Something you
what I
want, of course. If
want
you have me
in my
muted on
life.
Twitter, by the way, which I still feel hurt by, but whatever.
Salute to all your wives. For
I
sure.
did not
Thank
know
you.
that I had
Like,
you muted.
Anid, Bubbles, Jenny, Christy. I'm not sure. Okay,
one.
cool. But salute to all the patience of all these wives, because
Big
fans
time.
of the show sometimes they
Oh,
be
you
like
enjoy it.
specifically trying to cut at you guys individually, and for them to have that patience and say, "Oh, this is my baby. Don't worry about that." That takes patience. Like salute
There's
to
a
all you
lot of
ladies.
times where I have to tell Jenny, like, do not reply. Like, stay out of the comments. You know what's gonna be in there. You don't need to reply. You don't need to do anything. You haven't talked to anybody. You don't know anything. That's
Right.
it.
Your wife posts a lot, 1,000 posts.
But what I was saying is she often will
likes to
do
post.
an Instagram story that's just a picture of Tony and my boo, I love this guy. And I always get resentful of my wife because my wife never does a story like
My
that.
wife
Do
does
you
that
ever do it
sometimes.
for her?
My wife does that
not
sometimes.
really.
well,
My wife does that sometimes.
It feels
for
like
me,
your
too.
wife posts a lot about the dogs, and
Yeah.
then you repost
I don't see-
her
And-
post
and
about
my
the dogs.
daughter.
Billy,
my
I don't
daughter.
see
Yeah,
this. I don't see your wife doing this for you.
It happens sometimes, but then I feel the pressure. Like, am I
Obviously,
supposed to repost that? Because then I'm just posting
There's
a
a
thing
lot of
like
pressure.
I'm so great. You know what I mean?
Like,
There's
It's
a lot of
I
pressure.
don't believe
The
that.
birthday post is one thing. Like, happy birthday, yeah, we kind of all get that. But, just because it's Tuesday and they're out to dinner and it's an adorable picture of Tony.
Thank you.
And I instantly get resentful of my
I'm
wife.
with you. Yeah. Well, that's a
I
little
mean,
much.
you can
The hell do I
again
care
start
what-
the trend. And
I
do
show
it
my wife.
first.
I show my
Oh,
wife.
yeah.
I say, look, this is love.
Does she roll her eyes? Like,
Yeah.
As she should.
Next week, all of us, let's do a WCW, Woman Crush Wednesday, of our significant others.
Ooh, good idea.
Maybe all of our spouses host an episode of
Ooh,
Mystery
that'd
No,
be
that's
good.
never gonna
That'd be
happen.
That'd be a good idea.
It would be. The audience would love it.
Would
My
they
wife
be
would
down
never
for
want to
it?
do
Oh,
it.
my wife for
will-
sure would
my
be
wife
doing
will
No.
never.
My wife would do it 100%.
Guess
Oh,
what?
wait a minute. My wife's been on the show.
Guess
Yeah,
what we
she
I
can
mean,
do?
technically, yeah, she's been on the show.
The oldly wed game, where we put competitions up
That would
and
be
see
fun.
who
Ooh,
knows
that-
their wife or
I
husband
like
the
that.
most.
It's gonna be a
I
disaster.
like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, wow.
My
feel like
wife
I'd do
will
all right.
never.
Sell it.
My wife will never.
Yeah. Always thinking about the money.
Billy, what you can do is you can press follow on that, right? And
I
then-
did. I followed.
Okay,
I
good.
followed.
She'll get it and she'll accept it.
Okay.
So you
and
can
now I
see
can
other
see what you're
pictures.
doing on Tuesdays. The expensive sushi rolls that you're eating.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
He paid like $80 for a roll of sushi. the other
No,
day.
that's
Was it
not
at
true.
least, was it at least
What?
12 pieces?
It was-
Other.
It was,
Was it
no,
an
no, no,
eight-piecer?
no, 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 no.
Samson's doing his job getting this guy paid.
I don't know
for
what
getting
these
expensive
No,
sushi.
man.
Some
It was
Peking duck or
my
something.
no. It was my wife's best friend's birthday on
Wagyu
Monday.
something?
No, it was at. I'm not gonna give the name of the restaurant
Why?
because they don't pay
Why?
us.
Maybe I'll go.
Because they don't pay us.
Oh, okay.
So it was part of like a huge group of people. So it was like 8 or 10 people, and then we got kind of like family style where it was just a bunch of different rolls and stuff on the table. So I ended up paying like $100 for what our share was.
I hate when you do that at a group setting and you order like conscientiously, and then it's like
Yeah.
let's just split. And it's like you order like 4 mains. Like what are we doing
Yeah.
right now?
I'd be like, okay,
Exactly.
wait a second. I'm gonna get some to-go. Can I get another menu?
Yeah, that wow, I didn't think about that. That's a good move.
And especially since I've been sober this year, I'm not drinking. So like a lot of those drinks I end up paying for when I don't drink. So it's like
Your liver is probably super strong, getting
My-
ready to punch.
my
because
body
of your,
feels great.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a big problem here, and I'm hoping that somebody in this room, a very wise room that I'm looking at, has the answer to help me with this problem. And we're all from different walks of life here. As I look around the room, I have an issue where I went to the beach on Saturday, and I got water in my ear, and now this water in my ear, I can't get it out. I try to do the head thing where I go like that.
You gotta do this. You gotta hop.
No, I did that.
You just
Doesn't-
gotta keep doing it. You just gotta.
Nah,
You don't
I've
do-
done
you
it
don't do
for
that-
I've
the
done it
head
for
hit?
3 days straight, and
Keep
it
doing
doesn't
it.
do anything.
I got
Pablo.
I got a solution that I like.
Okay.
You take a single ply piece of toilet paper, which I no longer use for wiping my ass because I have
The
a
Toto,
bidet.
right, yeah.
Toto bidet. You make it into like you keep on twisting it, so that you get like a long cylinder version, but very thin, and you stick that in there as far as you can. And when you take it out, the tip of it, it should be wet by the water inside your ear. Just keep doing that.
But you're risking piercing your eardrum.
Nah, because it's a single ply piece of toilet paper. There's no piercing. It's gonna.
I think that single
tap
ply
it
is not good
slightly.
for your ass, but it also could pierce your eardrum. I think that you have to hit your head and hop up and down, and it'll equalize.
So to
it like
recap,
that.
the single ply toilet paper, too violent. Hitting your head with your hand over and over again, that's totally
And
fine.
hopping, right?
No,
And
just
does
you don't
hopping
have to
need
hit
be
your
part
I
of it?
head.
actually
You
just think you.
She she's just the hopper. I'm the head hitter.
don't hit
Yeah.
your head.
So
No,
I'm gonna show you
hop
guys
doesn't
visually.
have to be a hit.
YouTube slash.
Yeah.
Retarded
While
Films.
while Tony does that, I'm gonna create one of these.
I've
That's
been
not
kind
a
of doing
single
this
ply,
move
though.
right here.
It's the
Right, just
closest
go like
thing I
this.
got.
No, that's not gonna do it. That's
You look like you're just listening to a bad song, Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Have you tried holding your nose and blowing out?
Yeah, I have. You know what? One time, I have this situation oftenly. I don't know why, but there was one time where I did that, and I think my equilibrium got thrown off, and I got super dizzy, and I started getting like the spins.
You
and I
gave
had
yourself
to, like, go sit
vertigo.
down.
Yeah. You have to be careful with ears. Ears are important. Ears are also very sensitive,
They are.
and they're very fragile.
I think ears are tied with thumbs and big toes as the most important things in terms of the relationship between size and importance.
Do
on
you have
your body.
insurance?
Yeah, I have
This
I
is
work
definitely-
here.
Have you heard
I
of a
I work.
ENT, ear, nose, and throat?
So you want me to go pay?
That's a specialist.
You want me to pay some guy to put a suction thing in my ear and
No,
take
because
the
you
water
got to
out?
go to
Give me
your
a break.
GP. You got to get a referral
Oh,
to the
no.
ENT.
Right
Then
here.
you got to
All
pay
you
the
need is
copay
right
for
here.
the ENT.
All you need is right
I
here. Can I
ain't
get the
have to go to
camera on me?
GP.
YouTube.com/LeBatard and Friends. Yeah, right here. Check this. Look,
Looks like a little joint.
There is zero chance I'm sticking that in my ear.
Tony.
Zero.
Try it right now, man.
This is like
Let me
top
have
3 dumbest things
I mean, you can
we've
make it
we've ever
yourself, but
started
also
with.
this is right here for you. This is
I'm
clean.
saying,
Thanks,
bring it.
Tony.
I'll get it. Somebody bring it to me. I'll do it. It's tough.
He doesn't
man,
have
because-
water in his ear right now.
Yes, I
You
do. I
do?
literally have it right
So
now.
you've had it all
That's
day.
why
I've had
brought
it
it
all
up.
week.
Oh, wow.
I've had it all week, and that's why
Have you
I'm trying to
slept
get-
on that side, face
Yeah,
down, like
I've
on
done
your pillow?
everything. I've done everything to try and do it, and it doesn't work.
That's
Here, Pablo's
unfortunate.
bringing me in. All
There's
right.
Just
zero
don't-
chance that this is going to work.
Don't touch a Q-tip, whatever you do.
Well,
Don't do Q-tips.
Because
Ooh, I
of
don't like
piercing the
this.
eardrum?
Q-tips are very dangerous for the eardrums.
far as you can.
yeah, I'm
I
trying
don't
to.
like this.
As far as you can. No, you're missing it. Hold on.
This is like a magic trick where it's
Hold
going
on,
to
I'm gonna-
It's
I'm
just
actually-
going to
Help
come
him
out
out,
of the other
Pablo.
side. There's nothing in between.
empty. How do you test
I got a hot
what's in
shots.
Tony's brain?
For the audio audience.
Jeremy, watch your eye.
Yeah, Tony is currently sticking in a very thin piece of what looks like rolled up
okay.
Kleenex into his ear. It's not one-ply toilet paper, and he's now it's like bending. Pablo's watching closely.
This is a COVID test of your ear.
Yeah, basically. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Getting it
we're
all
in
the
there.
way up there.
We're in
Yeah,
there.
you're like folding it in now.
Yeah, well, because it's paper.
It's a long canal.
A lot of
Yeah,
empty space.
At a certain
too.
point,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it in here for a little bit.
No, I don't think
it
that's
works
part
like
of it.
that.
No,
Yeah, I
it's-
don't think it
It's
works
not a
like that.
sponge.
It's absorbent. Yeah.
Now
So
it should be wet at the end, which I don't think.
I don't think it is.
Pablo's now constructing a second ear probe.
gonna
It looks
help me
like for
here.
Tony's
I
ear.
don't
Look at
think this is a
precision.
good idea.
Pablo, stop doing that. You're practicing medicine without a license.
David.
Ooh.
Tony does seem to be
Ah.
enjoying
Got
it.
it?
Yeah.
Is it hitting your eardrum?
Yeah.
Is it all the way
yeah.
in there?
Yeah.
Is that
Is
wet?
it wet?
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Yeah, it is. Oh shit.
Do you still hear it in
You're
your ear?
welcome.
A little bit, but a couple more times. A couple more times, I think I'm good.
Oh man.
We have
Wow.
20
Yeah,
minutes that we could do
science.
this for if you want. Just stand here and watch Tony's
And that'll
ear.
be it for another episode of Mystery Crate.
Well, Dave, what do you got?
I got something better than this.
Okay.
Well, I'm definitely going to Pablo now for all sorts of home remedies. Like, what else you got in your arsenal?
Oh, it's
Oh,
It's
that
wet
rem-
now. See, it's too wet now. You gotta get the dry side again so it gets absorbent.
We can't hear you, Pablo. You have to speak into the microphone.
How's this going?
Yeah, how's this going?
What do you have, David?
I
What do
have
you
a
wanna talk
question
I can't
about
believe
how
you
to
said
deal with
that.
temperature.
Okay.
And I'm struggling
Sure.
greatly about it
It's
because
gonna help you out.
I can't deal with how the difference in temperature where you are is so cold and amazing that you needed a snuffleupagus yesterday and a sweatshirt, and people are wearing sweatshirts. Is that thing gone?
I don't know where it went. My blanket.
It was a
on the
present
couch.
to you.
Oh, it's on the couch.
I had to remove it because we
Is
needed
it now
to-
public? Or can anyone use it?
Anyone
I thought that
can
was a
use
gift
it,
to
but
you.
I think everyone knows that I need it the most. So they.
I thought it was specifically
you know.
given to you, actually.
It was, but I'll share it.
What
I
happened-
don't need it right this second,
What
even
happened to
though
the
I am
DraftKings?
freezing.
The DraftKings blanket.
I don't know. I think
Lost in
it
the move?
also got so whoever took the fine bucket money probably
They took the blanket
took
too.
the
Wow.
blanket too, because I haven't seen it since we moved.
I just would like to have more control if I'm here about what the temperature is. Because this has been a struggle.
it's
If you-
ridiculous.
If you ask me what
It's
the week is,
freezing.
I'm hot. It's been hot in here and cold
It's
in there.
freezing in this room.
And that's been my biggest issue. Week 1 in the new studio, I'm less than pleased with how the air situation is.
Your Yelp review of Meadowlark Media's new Miami headquarters.
there
leads
is a
with-
temperature issue.
Yeah, so I've been informed by the technical staff is back at the Clevelander there was multiple AC units. Here there's one for everything. So I figured that'd make everything the same comfort-wise, but maybe not because it seems to be cold out here, but then out there it's very pleasant. So I don't know.
I
why
think
it's
now
much
we're talking
colder
about
here.
vent issues.
No, I think it's just like a solitary AC unit for the whole
What
floor.
is the temperature set at?
I have no idea.
Because it seems to be set at 65 in here.
Listen, I'm loving this because you remember how it was at the other studio.
Also freezing.
Yeah, but this is less freezing than
I disagree.
Jess,
Really?
Jess
I
has
had a
been
problem.
This
swaddling
is a hostile
herself.
work environment for me.
It's gone.
in so many ways,
lost
but
it.
temperature-wise, being the most acute right now.
Wait a minute. Your blanket's gone?
It's in-
It's in public in the other room. There's
It's
swaddled
okay. It's
blanket.
okay if it's in public. I'm okay with sharing public utilities, David.
I
It's
fe-
in public.
But if it were used, but you do not expect someone to give it up if you're cold?
I'm okay with sharing. If someone needs it, they
No,
can
but
use
if you're
it.
cold doing a show and someone's using it,
If someone wants to bring it to me, like Mike Fuentes just did, I'll use it. But
As someone who
I
just
like things being brought to me.
as
first
someone
of
who
all.
just stuck a piece of toilet or Kleenex from my pocket into Tony's ear canal, I feel like we have very different standards for boundaries.
yes, obviously we do. I find it to be so wholly inappropriate what you just did on myriad levels.
I'm an open book. You know, I'm okay.
You're also an open skull at this point.
Yeah. Well, some have called me worse, but that's fine.
But you don't have water in your ear, right?
No, I still got a little bit.
still
but
does.
It's more. Like
It helps.
It helps.
It helps.
It's
now
just a
do the
long
jump
play.
up. Now that he's got it a little loose, jump up and down. No, you have to stand up.
You got to stand up and do
Standing
it.
up. Standing up.
Yeah.
Stand up all the way,
I'm
and then
all
you
the
have
way
to
up.
jump. Do the jump.
Shout out to Fat Joe. All right, I'm gonna try.
Take your headset
I
off.
don't
It's
think
okay.
he knows how
Yeah.
to jump.
Well, now I can't hear anybody. In the
That's fine.
Crisscross. No.
What an amazing visual.
Yeah.
LeBatard and Friends YouTube channel.
Correct.
That's
I'm sure this will
not
sometime
how
hit
you're
social
supposed to do
media
it.
too. Yeah.
All right.
This is good.
Yeah, this is great.
This is
This is
I think
great
he's
radio.
just going to get dizzy and not help with water in his ear.
It didn't do anything.
Yeah, and nor did the tissue, by the way. That's
How about-
totally psychosomatic.
How about I've seen people put like a candle and like light it.
No,
That's
don't
for-
do
that's
that.
for
That
wax.
can make you go deaf.
Yeah.
And it,
But
you
I've
set
seen
the
horror
place on
stories
fire.
about the candle.
Not that I've seen it. I'm just
Go
saying.
on TikTok, look at the candle on TikTok, horror stories.
Is that in your For You?
No.
Does
this
that get-
is,
how do you see that
Sometimes
then?
I do get medical things because, like, you know, I'll Google, like, oh, why is my big toe numb? Oh, you're having a stroke. And then TikTok will be like, oh, she's a hypochondriac. Let's feed her some of these. And I'll get the candle video. The candle ones freak me out.
But hold on. What happens?
Do you know the
with
street
candle?
test?
I don't actually know how the candles work. It's supposed to be a wax thing. It's supposed to get the wax out.
But how?
I don't understand it.
So wax on wax, like it's a magnet.
Wax on, wax off. Yes.
hydrogen peroxide.
Do you give yourself a test whether you've had a stroke? Do you know the stroke test?
If you smell toast.
Yeah,
you're
it's a
having
burnt
stroke.
toast thing, isn't it?
Like your arm's numb.
No.
I think
It's-
the arm numb,
you
I
have
think
to
is
raise
like
your
a-
hand,
Uh-huh.
smile, and you have to repeat your name. Hi, my name is David, and smile. If you've had a stroke, you can't smile.
Really?
and you're not able to do this.
Can you
I-
do that again?
I do this.
How often
a
do
great
you
question.
do this?
You two that LeBatard.
Because if I saw you do this in public, I'd be like, that guy's having a stroke.
No, and I would say it's the opposite. This guy's good. I'm not having it. I actually always feel like I'm having it because I'm a huge hypochondriac.
My am I having a stroke question being answered by my am I having a stroke test.
It's what it's meant for. I would say 7 times a week minimum. I give that to myself.
What?
What?
Minimum.
So every day you're giving yourself a stroke test?
No, because sometimes it's multiple times a day, and sometimes some days like
Some days you just
yesterday.
feel
you
good.
forget?
Yesterday was a
wow,
1.
Dave.
What's the
And
sort of
here's
trigger for
the trigger is obviously anxiety or a feeling of pain or a level of hypochondria where you feel like, wow, I have a numbness or I have something, and now I'm of the age. The problem is I'm of the age where every day
Everything
you
hurts. Yeah.
no the age where
Oh.
people are dying of
Strokes.
and heart attacks. Like
Yeah.
if you saw David Samson, 55, died of a heart attack,
I'd be like, yeah, that does happen.
that tracks.
Yeah.
we have really gotten
Wear a
a
blazer to
tour
work every day.
of the things that
Maybe that's
are
why I'm
inside
That's the
David Sampson's most inner blazer pockets. Red shoes.
That was this week.
strokes. Was that no? Maybe
Burnt
that was.
toast.
I think that was last week.
But the point is, David Sampson, the way that your brain perceives the world is incentivized most by fear.
It's incentivized by fear slightly, actually. The most is by understanding efficiencies.
Because if you are inefficient, you fear something happening.
When I'm inefficient, I fear that I'm wasting time.
I have a question for the room at large. Why do we always end up psychoanalyzing David?
Because I'll tell you why. I have an answer for that. It's Dan. Dan loves doing that. And
But you
he's
lean
been
into
doing
it,
that
too.
for a long time because it makes
Yeah.
Dan happy, and I'm fine with it. But I'm also fine telling you guys what's in my head and articulating the exact thing of why I respond to things the way I respond to, where you may misunderstand, and I'd like clarifying it.
Jess, it's a great question, though. And the reason that I would add on to the explanation is you have an answer for why you do every single thing. It's not
thought
like,
out.
oh, I've done this my whole life. It's no, you have a strategy for everything.
Not getting water out of my ear. No strategy
The
for that.
age-old question. Nobody can answer it.
Pablo did.
I mean,
Yeah, but it's a long play. It's a long con. What's the opposite of a hypochondriac?
Someone on Toradol?
I was going to say, like, most men. Yeah. That just die because they're having a stroke and they're like, I'm fine.
I'm just putting some dirt on it.
Is there like a
and their
medical
spouse
term
is
for
like,
it?
your face is drooping. You can't smile. You
Get
look
the
like you're
Robitussin.
having a stroke. And they're, I'm good.
Get the Robitussin.
I'm not going to the doctor.
Get some ginger ale.
That's a lot of people's dads, right? Like growing up, I had a really traumatizing dream as a child that my eyeball fell out and my dad tried to put it back in because my dad was the type of dad that
Did it
wouldn't
go
let
back
us
in?
miss school if we were sick unless we were like actively vomiting. I don't remember what happened in the dream, but I remember it being extremely traumatizing as a child.
Did you ever put your thermometer in a place that made it so you had fever even if you didn't? Like,
No, I never really tried to get out of school. I liked going to school, but
Nerd.
yes, I learned that trick in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, David. Cult
Tony,
classic.
Did you just saw that recently or
Well, no.
not, but like in high school and you actually decided I would not be that person. So you wouldn't want to be Ferris
I just
Bueller.
never tried to get out of school. Like I always enjoyed going to school, but
Tony was running cough
judgment to people who
trains.
did.
I was running the cough train. Yeah.
Juju was running the bathroom. Wasn't he running the
The
hall
bathroom
train?
scam,
The bathroom.
Yeah. The bathroom scam. It's like a couple different places are good to like help you achieve things in life, right? Like school, yeah, the stuff you learn in school is great, but the other stuff you learn in school, how to like manipulate certain things, how to like take advantage of certain situations, that's stuff that's more, I think, important than actually learning what an atom is or mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Like, what are we doing? Who gives a shit about that?
Please
Nobody
don't,
cares
please
about
don't do
biology,
this.
huh?
Please don't do this.
Do what?
Can we get a top 5 of things Tony did learn in school?
Exactly. No, things that Tony deemed weren't necessary. Like
I'll start with one, Pythagorean theorem. That's 5, actually.
Do
Sorry.
we have the sound?
Yeah, the sounds are
the
somewhere.
sounds.
Yeah, we
you
have
got
it.
it right there. On your,
Actually, hold on. Let me write them down.
oh, I can do it actually. since
No,
I'm
you
right
got to
here.
do it right now.
Okay, number
There it
5.
is.
Number 5.
I'll do it.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. I don't know why we need it. We just need it. Okay, sure.
It is funny that everybody
have
learned it
cells.
that
That's
way.
the only
though.
part that we remember out of everything
It's
in the
its
cell.
brand.
Yes.
The word powerhouse needs to be in your description.
I think
of
we probably
mitochondria.
all had the same like 4 textbooks, and when it came to biology class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number four. Anything in grammar is obsolete now.
That's the only thing that actually matters.
Anything in
You
grammar. is
know
obsolete.
this list is real because number 4 is anything in grammar.
Anything in grammar, like put it this way: we got ChatGPT now. Google.
What?
Gmail. Listen to me. Gmail finishes your sentences for you. You have like Grammarly and stuff like this, and you put it in, and it's like, all right, yeah, your whole sentence is screwed up. Let me
I'm
fix it for you.
mortified.
And you're like, all right, cool, thanks. So grammar, anything grammar related. All right.
You work
Look
in
at, look at
media.
Jeremy. Look at Jeremy.
I can't even believe what you do for a living, and you're saying this.
Number
Look
three.
where you are.
Number 3. Let's think.
Grammar's a terrible
I was
one.
with you with mitochondria,
Yeah,
but
I was on like the
grammar-
science train.
I
The
just-
science train for the most part I was
grammar.
in, but that grammar
I thought
working
you were
here.
going to talk about physics or the theory of relativity.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Tony is literally trying to remember anything.
Anything.
His second thing was all of grammar.
All of grammar.
Sine,
grammar,
cosine,
right?
and tangent.
Grammar?
I didn't get
Anything
that
written.
Far. I didn't
right?
get as far as cosine, sine, and tangent. I don't know
Oh.
what that was.
Wow, trigonometry wasn't.
Joe,
familiar with
I
this.
did not get anywhere near trig.
Okay.
Trig is
Anywhere near
3.
trig. Pythagorean theorem. We don't need it. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Hey!
What do we need it
Look
for?
at that.
When have I ever used it in my entire life? When has anybody?
Triangles. You need it for triangles.
Oh, my bad. I'm doing so many things with triangles.
There are everything we do is with triangles. Actually,
Yeah.
you don't
Dave,
work
when
with
was the
triangles.
last time you thought of the Pythagorean theorem and used it in your head and actually ran it and did what it needed?
When
to
I
do?
had an issue with 2 people,
Okay, what?
So okay,
right?
okay.
It was a triangle, and it
How can I
required
be on
some
no
sort
one's
of
side
work.
on an argument?
Oh,
It's
okay,
not an
Jess.
argument.
Explain to me the last time you used Pythagorean theorem, please.
Of course, I've never used the Pythagorean
Okay,
theorem
thank
at work.
you.
I work in media, but I do use grammar.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about.
Number 2.
Number 2.
You want to say algebra too.
Algebra 2 for sure. Hold on. All right.
Wait, I like it
Math.
as Algebra 2, the class, not Algebra 2 as in also because no grammar.
Yeah,
No, no,
exactly.
no.
I think he meant algebra TOO,
Yes, I meant.
which he would have said as algebra TWO and not known the difference.
There you go.
There is
Geometry
no
in there
way
as well.
Tony was in algebra 2.
I did. That's the last
You
class I
had-
took.
you
The
had
last
to.
math class I
Yeah,
took. By
you
the
had
way,
to.
I had to take night school for because I failed it within the year.
Did you ever take calculus?
No, God, no.
Oh, I loved
I was a
calculus.
senior in algebra 2 with 10th grade.
Why was there just a high five? Why did you guys just high five?
I can't.
Okay, no, this is the rest of the episode.
Okay, so I was.
Just give us your entire high school and college track record.
Can you bring us your transcript?
Those have been sealed, by the way. I can't get those. Okay, so we'll go backwards. My senior year, I was in algebra 2, right? And the first 2 semesters, I did not pass. Right? You have to accumulate a certain, at least in Florida, you have to accumulate a certain amount of points within each semester.
So if
to be
you were
able to
asked by Eric Name, was this a failure? Your answer would have been
I'd have been,
yes
you know what?
and
We
yes
we
for
learned a
both
lot of things in the
semesters.
first 2 semesters. We learned a lot about myself. We learned a lot about math. Most importantly, we learned a lot about the school system and how they're trying to keep us down. That's one thing. We'll get to that later.
That's true. That's very
Thank
true.
you, Roy.
That's Florida.
That is also true. But we had a parent-teacher conference, which I was no stranger to. I had a lot of parent-teacher conferences as a kid. And my mom shows up, God bless her heart, and the lady, Miss Pfefferman, who is not that nice, by the way.
Is that a real name?
Yeah, that's her real name. That's
That
her
is
real
That
name.
sounds like a teacher.
That's some
sounds like
central
Miss Pfefferman.
casting
Yeah,
shit.
central casting. That's right. Like,
Older lady, blonde hair. She did not like me.
She was
Probably because I
probably
didn't
40.
do homework. Yeah, she was. She was like late 30s, I think. I didn't do homework. I didn't care. So I walk in, and my mom's like, another one of these. Okay, we're senior year. We're almost done. And the lady's like, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't want to be mean. He's not passing this class. My mom's like, well, no, like we can make something happen. My mom's skilled in the negotiation with teachers of like, we can make something happen here, right? And this, she's like, no, literally, like he's a senior. He will not pass. He will not graduate because he doesn't have enough credits in this like semester thing. Even if he got A's the rest of the way, he wouldn't be able to pass. And there was no chance I was getting any A's. Like 0 shot. I had no.
We believe you.
Yeah. I had 0
Don't
shot.
school shame Pablo. It's not nice.
And it's because, dude, it's because you were lazy. It had nothing to do with you being like dumb. There's no way.
Correct.
Yeah, you're just lazy. You were like the normal sports playing kid who didn't want to do anything. Yeah.
Fully lazy. Fully lazy. So, I had to take night school. I had to end up dropping that class and taking night school. So I would go to school, then go to practice, and then go to night school, and then spend the entire time cheating in night school. So I learned 0 of Algebra 2. Absolutely nothing. Like I can't tell you a thing. I didn't even have like the Algebra 2 calculator. You had to get a special calculator for it. All the nerds had one.
Graphing calculator.
Pablo, you know what I'm
Texas
talking about?
Instruments.
I had a
89.
TI. I had a TI 86.
Yes,
Yep, whatever.
TI-86.
They're like, hey, you need those, and I was like, nah, I think I'm good.
But you could program answers and cheat on them, apparently.
Well, no,
right?
but here's the
Allegedly.
beautiful thing about being part of this new wave of like technology and stuff. So our night school was totally online, and what I realized is that the teacher, there's like 87 kids in this library, and they're like, hey, log on to whatever it is you do and do your stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's like a security guard who's there like, all right, guys, just don't kill each other. And I'm like, perfect. So what I started realizing is
I can't run a murder train.
yeah, the cop train didn't work there. It was all guys like me and people like me. So it was just like, you
This
know,
is
whatever.
terrifying.
So
This is Florida.
I start.
There was a
real-
bro chain on accident that got started.
Yeah.
Hurry up with this story because we're running out of time. and I need number one before we're done
Bro,
here.
what's
Okay,
up, bro?
yeah,
What's up, bro?
Okay, bro. So I started realizing.
For hours.
Yeah, it was. But I was there to do work, obviously finish my degree and whatnot. So I started realizing that a lot of the questions would come up again. So like they would keep giving me the same questions on the certain tests and quizzes. So what I started doing is writing down every single answer and like almost like shorthanding what the question was and then writing the right answer. So I would come up to the midterm.
Tony, you were so close to just studying.
I was, but I couldn't. I couldn't.
If you would just put in the work ethic that you put
This
in,
is like the
have it.
career
You
criminal.
just
It's
needed
amazing.
to study the stuff they
I
taught
love
you
this.
instead of the paper with all the answers on
But I
it.
had a paper, like a playbook sheet, and I had like one of those composition notebooks full of the answers of the different like tabs of the study, guide or whatever it is. So I would just go through the midterm, and I'd be like, oh, that's in section 7. So and I'd be like, 42, that's B, B, and I would just go through the entire test like that, and I ended up getting like a C+.
C's get degrees.
I meant to do the
Atta girl.
celebratory horns there. Sorry.
girl.
I don't know. Roy,
What's
can you
number
play
one?
that? Can you play that?
There we
that
go.
one. Sorry.
So I ended
I
up
meant
passing
that one.
Algebra 2,
Wow.
graduated, and then I actually ended up getting a 3.8 all throughout college because I started caring. I was like, oh,
Yeah, because it started
see.
costing you money. That's why.
yeah. I was like, hey, let's do this.
Oh,
As a fire alarm. Let's continue.
this
the
thing
show,
keeps
This
please.
happening
happens when I'm in my
every-
room, actually.
I'm leaving.
yeah.
And I called Pablo, and Pablo said, we're fine. Don't move.
Yeah.
Guys, we're in Miami.
No, but
I don't
when you're
trust
on,
these buildings.
what floor do you have to be
I'm
on?
with you, Jess, but I also have like sat through 4 of these this week, so I'm kind of
What
stuck.
happens
No, we're
when
good.
one of them's real?
Well, speaking of school, like,
Number one.
we're conditioned to not move because of school.
Absolutely.
Tony giving us that entire wind up and then saying, "No, guys, we're good." It makes you want to get the fuck out of here.
The number one thing you learn in school, fire drills, they're just
Not a
drills.
big deal.
Just not a
Optional.
big deal.
They're optional.
Just not a big deal
I
right now.
really would rather we not have anyone hear that.
80 women did not die in the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire for you to tell us that fire drills don't mean
matter.
anything.
Speaking of the Pythagorean theorem, the triangle shirtwaist
Oh, that was a good one.
factory.
Yeah.
Has
anybody used it?
transition with a minute
Little
left?
New York humor.
Well, that's gonna do it for Mystery Crate. Yeah, and what do you got going on, Jeremy?
That's a great question. Listen to Too Many Men. Heat in 5 against the Knicks. That's coming. So be prepared for that. Listen to Miami Mic'd Up this week. And just to point it out, Tony and I could not have had more different paths. I was someone who would skip.
Yeah, we
Going
know
to the
Jeremy.
gym.
All right,
No,
Tony,
no.
what do
You
you
don't
have?
have to
It was
we get
to.
it,
I was
yeah.
trying to relate, and that we've ended up in the same place, and I think that's
Nerd.
beautiful.
You're taking too long.
Okay,
I
bye.
told you.
I tried in school and I was really smart. We ended up in the same place.
Yeah. So thanks. So you tried for nothing. You could have half-assed it like Tony and got the same place. No,
So
Tony,
who's
go
the
ahead.
idiot?
Thanks,
Jer
guys.
Bear.
I wasn't. I was trying to.
Tony, what do you got coming up?
MMA Hangout May 6th for UFC 288 and the rearnakedchoke.substack.com.
Roy.
Montgomery and Company, Alicia Baumgartner, the boxer, and on Friday we have Bubba Wallace. That will be today that release. Because Miami, we got Carla Croqueta and Opal Amra, the most famous names in drag here in Miami.
And Jess.
146 people actually died in the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. So
going out on a high note.
Hand up.
Thank you for doing that.
Did they teach us how to school?
This week, NFL draft stuff, Off the Looking Glass, Hillary Knight, and I watched the Mighty Ducks for the first time.
Hillary Knight.
We asked if it held up.
No. Also, www.pablo.show.
And David?
No time.
Okay,
No
goodbye.
time. I make the time.
I said, okay, goodbye.
Nothing personal with David Tatum.
Okay, goodbye.